Hello. Alright, there is a decent chance my software is gonna crash because I already tried to record this video before and there was just a lot going on. And there's this one particular mechanic that will require looking at a lot of different footage, and so I've got like 3 different videos. So it's gonna be a whole thing. I hope you're ready for a hot mess, okay? This fight in particular really trips people up right in the middle. And so if you're running this, especially like minimum eye level, is going to be a bit tricky. Even if it's not minimum eye level, like people who farm this fight, well, they go in like unsynced and stuff, they will still potentially wipe to this mechanic that you'll see. And in this particular run, in this video, we went in minimum eye level. Wait. Did we? No. I think this one, it is just synced, but no echo. Yeah, there's no echo, but it's synced, so it's not minimum eye level. But I do have footage of one that is minimum eye level. So you might see some of that. We have some way markers on the sides, and I'll explain that once we get to the things that require usage of the way markers and stuff. But here, main tank will turn the boss forward per usual. Reprimand is going to be the raid wide. Okay, Nightfall. There's going to be 2 variations of this. There's one that's going to have a spear and one that's going to have a gun. And you can listen to the audio cue to figure out which one it is. Or look at the boss. Okay, did you hear that kind of like slashing noise? So that is going to be the sphere that she's holding here. And so if it's the sphere part, sphere variation of this Nightfall attack, it was called Nightfall, right? Yeah. What's going to happen is the boss will target a random 3 random people based on roles. So either a tank for one, and then a healer and DPS and stuff like that. And so ideally what we do to handle this mechanic is, well, okay, so the mechanic itself is that she'll target a person from each role and do a cleave. Alright, and the way that we handle this so multiple people aren't getting hit is that we have that role stack up. So both tanks stand here, both healers stand over here, all the DPS stand over here. The location itself doesn't matter as much. It really just depends on your party and how people prefer it. So, but in this particular fight, we separated it like this: tanks here, healers here, DPS here. And so what this does is, no matter whichever person it gets picked for the cleave, everyone just gets hit once instead of getting hit twice. Because if we have some variation where, you know, off tank is standing here, we got some DPS people here, then if the off tank is picked, everyone gets cleaved. If this person gets picked as DPS, everyone gets cleaved. If a healer happens to be standing here, everyone gets cleaved, you know, so that can be potentially dangerous. So that's why we split it up by role, and so we can look at it executed here. Okay, so that's one swipe, it's another swipe, okay, and then last swipe to the healers over there. Alright, so that's the spear. I have a hard time pronouncing that. Spear. The spear, not the sphere. Spear. Okay. All my cats coming in here. Okay, Nightfall again. And so this time you can hear the gun. There, so you hear the gun get charged up. Hello. Oh, you're sleepy. You want to sit down? Okay, I'm going to continue. So here you can see that she's holding a gun. And so with this one, if it's the gun variation, we want to stack up in the back here. I moved over to the side a little because I noticed that the healer was over here, and if they got picked for the stack, okay, just sit down. you okay now? Oh, okay. If the healer got picked for the stack, then potentially they'd get hit by themselves, and so that's why I wanted to kind of stand in between just in case they didn't go. So I was adjusting a little for them, just because like you can see there's a lot of sprouts here, and so I wanted to kind of help divide up the damage if so. And so I was still within the thing of the stack. I got hit with it, but if the boss turned this way, I would have also gotten hit and then helped the healer not die. You know what I'm saying? So that was just me adjusting. But ideally, for the gun barrel thing, you want to stack right behind the boss. Okay, the gun here. So we're stacking up. And it doesn't have to be behind the boss necessarily. I mean, it can, if everyone chooses to stand here. The point is that everyone stacks together, right? Also, for this particular run, we did a whole instance, and so this is our second time into the fight. So that's why it's a little bit more clean, but we still have a few things to work through. Like, everyone was pretty much fresh. Night Bloom. Right. We got a raid wide there, and then we transition to this next phase. So here we are going to get sets of ads. There's a group of ads here, some ads here, and some ads here. The ones that are tethered to Tsukuyomi down here, they cannot be tanked. Okay, Tsukuyomi's suffering fuels the fires of her malice. Okay, so here's the suffering bar. And so as these ads attack her, the suffering will increase this bar. Okay, and then depending on how much suffering there is will determine how big of a raid wide everybody gets hit with, like after this phase, you know, the big raid wide of every fight. So ideally we want to target these so that we don't increase the suffering too much, and then tanks can go pick up these ones on the sides. The ones over here are melee ads, and so they will run, and so you can bring them all together into like this group. The ones on this side are ranged players. They have like bow and arrows and stuff like that, and so they won't necessarily move because they can still reach and attack you. So you want to have some people go over there and attack them. But in any case, we pile them up in the middle as best we can and then DPS them down. And then now we have this one, the Spectre of Asahi. Is that how you pronounce that? So again, the tethered one cannot, the one that's tethered cannot be aggroed. So tanks just go take care of the ads on the sides. And we want to, you know, attack the one with the tether so then the suffering doesn't go too high. You can handle this in different ways. Some people bring them all together and just use AoEs to attack them. Some people will prioritize just this one first. Really depends on your party and the damage output your party can do. Okay, now we have Xenos out. And we're all gonna get knocked back a bit, and then we're down for the count, so there's a bit of a, like, sort of cutscene, but not really. I mean, we're still here, but you just have to wait for a bit. Okay, and then now we can attack Xenos. There will be raid wides going out. If you're doing this minimum eye level, these raid wides can hurt a bit, so be careful with that. Like even here you can kind of see how much damage it does, right? It does like almost half damage for everybody. So healers want to be on their toes. Okay, and then after that we're gonna get a big raid wide. So far it's not too bad. It's pretty similar to the original version, but this next phase is what trips up a lot of people. This is where most of the prog sits at. Alright, Supreme Celemancy. The stage is going to change colors, and these orbs popped up, right? So the moons, the moonlight things are doing this lunar halo, which is a donut AoE, and so you don't want to stand in this. All right, for sure you don't want to stand in this. Similar to the original normal version of this fight, everyone's gonna get a debuff, either moonlit or moon shadowed, okay, depending on whichever one you have. If you are standing on the same side, then it will tick your debuff. Okay, so right now I have the light colored one, so the moonlit one. It just says moon shadowed here because I was standing near somebody else who got moon shadowed. Okay, so this one's not mine. This one's mine. If I stand in the light area here, then this will tick to 5, and then I will get doom and I will likely die. If I instead stand on the dark color of the stage, then it will then switch my debuff to the other one, to the moon shadowed one. And then vice versa. If you have the moon shadowed one, the darker one, and you stand on the dark side of the stage, then this will tick to 5, you'll get doom, and you'll probably die. Instead, if you have the moon shadow one, you want to do the opposite color, and so you go to the light side of the stage. The thing is, this part of the stage is still considered like the dark side, but this is part of the AoE. This is part of the AoE, and you will take damage, and you don't want to get hit with that. Alright, so make sure you understand which part is the clear side of the stage versus, and like safe part of the stage, versus just an overlap here. Like this gray blue thing is the AoE. Okay, so in my other video, the normal version, I did extensive research into how this mechanic works exactly, because you get doom and most people say that you will just die, but the thing is, there is a split second where you can possibly survive, and I happened to catch it on my video, where a healer popped some heal, somebody had a shield or something, and then as soon as they got doom, their regen ticked higher, and so technically they were full up on heals, and then that was enough to clear the doom, which is how you handle doom in some other fights. You can either use Asuna to get rid of the doom because it has the white bar above it, or you can heal all the way up to full health and get rid of it like that, or various other things. Okay, so in this particular fight, if you have a healer who is super fast about keeping heals up and things like that, you can possibly survive, but I wouldn't depend on that. Instead, do the mechanic and switch the sides of the stage. Anyway, I'll just play this out so we can see. So I have above your head, you will also see the type of moon that you have. Since I have the light colored one, the moonlit one, I see the moon above me, and then watch as in a moment it will switch to the other one, because I stood in the dark side. Okay, so everybody's has switched now because the other people went to the safe area, so it switched. Right, this donut stuff is about to explode, so that's all that's happening here. As time progresses, this thing is going to increase its thing, and so you can look at it like that, or you can look at the debuff number, whichever one. So see this sliver of red here? It's gonna slowly increase like this, and when it's full up, then that's when it's indicating to me that I'm gonna die to doom. Now, the stage itself, as you can see, has expanded. One side of the stage is gonna grow larger than the other side, and this is gonna be important to pay attention to. Here, in this configuration, the dark side has spread further, okay? The dark side is getting bigger, and eventually it's going to cover the entire stage. All right? Conversely, we can have a situation where the light color, the light side, will be the one that increases. Mechanically, this is how it works, all right? The light color can also increase. So depending on what configuration we have will determine how we handle this next mechanic. All right, so I will play it out a bit, so we'll see. While this is all happening, by the way, we are still handling the moon phases. All right, as I continue staying in the dark side of the stage, I get another tick of the moon shadow, so I have 2 now. Right, and then if somebody else is standing on the light side continuously, they'll get another tick of that. The boss is going to do the nightfall that we saw at the beginning. It's either going to be the spear or the gun. You can listen for the audio cue, or you can try to look at the boss. Okay, so it sounded like a gun being loaded, and so we've got a gun here. So that means we got to stack up to share the damage. Okay. Here we've got these markers that I've just been calling bacon strips because they look like bacon strips. We're gonna have some people with some bacon strips, all right? And it's gonna be 1 tank, 1 healer, and 1 DPS. And so mechanically, I'll explain what happens, and then I'll explain some strategies on how to deal with it. Mechanically, 3 people, 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 DPS are gonna get the bacon strip marker, and wherever they end up standing once the cast is done, it will generate a really big circle AoE. Okay? After the circle AoE explodes, it's gonna drop a rock. Okay, there's a rock right here that someone dropped, and there's gonna be 2 rocks over here. See, there's 2 rocks behind my party list over here. Here. Just ignore this stuff over here for now. 2 rocks. 2 rocks over here, 1 rock here, okay? Because we had 2 people with the bacon strips run over there, and 1 person happening running that way. Wherever they happen to drop their bacon strip AoE thing, that will determine what color the rock is. If they had dropped it on the light side over here, then it would be a white rock. But because all of these were dropped on the dark side of the stage, they turn to the dark rock. Now, what happens if 2 rocks are too close together? They will explode. As you can see, it just exploded. Okay, so moon burst, and we get damage downs. Alright? And then the rock that is kind of just hanging out by itself over here, at the end of this entire sequence, okay, it's gonna explode. There we go. So it explodes, and then once it explodes, it's gonna leave a puddle of darkness or a puddle of light. It really it depends on what color the rock was. Okay, so that's that mechanic. Let me explain it one more time, and then I'll talk about strategies. We got 3 people with bacon strips, 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 DPS. Wherever they end up landing, they're gonna drop a really big AoE. Once the AoE explodes, you will get rocks. The rocks will be colored depending on what side of the stage color they were on. If 2 rocks are too close to each other, they explode. After a few other mechanics, the rock, if it's still on the stage, will have the really big, large AoE again. it explodes, the rock itself goes away, but it leaves a puddle. The puddle will be the same color as the rock, and the rock is the same color as wherever it was dropped on the stage. Okay? While all that's happening, as you can see, we have like a lot of other stuff going on here. We've got the moon thingy to deal with, and because there's no light color on the stage, we are all getting ticked with more darkness. The moon shadow, see, my moon is getting even more darkened. Okay, so ideally we have to somehow get some light here so we can stand, right? Okay, see here, Doom, we clearly all have very low health, and so this doesn't last very long. But like I said in my other video, I totally caught it where our healing was just like really high, and it's snapshot where we happened to get Doom and then lose it. One person got Doom and lost it because their health ticked really well, and then it was great. I was so happy I caught it and was able to analyze the footage. Anyway, okay, so the point here, by this stage, by this time, we are all gonna die to the darkness, right? And so we need to have a light colored stone somewhere. And so that means all the way back here, when the people got their bacon strips, we need at least one person, at least one rock, to be the light colored one, so that later in the phase we have somewhere to hide. Mechanically, that's what we want. Okay, so how do we handle that is what trips everybody up. As you can see, after a full instance, like a full hour of progging, people were still kind of struggling with this particular mechanic. So let me show other footage of this. Oh, my cat is like laying on my hand now, so I can't move my hand too much. Oh, okay, please don't bite me. Okay, let me show footage. Can you move over? Can I move this up? Can you sleep over here? Okay. Let's see. Here, I've got this one. Let's see. Okay, so I have the dark color thing, so I'm going, sorry, I had the light color, so I'm going to the dark side to switch my debuff. Okay, in this configuration, the light colored stuff is expanding. Okay, and so that means at the end, the whole stage is going to be white, and we need a dark color to stand in later. Nightfall, it was the gun, and so we had to stack together. This was early in the prog, so we didn't really know what we were doing. Bacon strips are out. People need to place their rocks accordingly in certain places. I'll explain that. Let's see, we have small safe spaces. We've got 2 white rocks, okay? And then if you look at the rock over here, we have 1 dark rock, okay? So the 2 white rocks were too close to each other, which is why they exploded. But we have 1 dark rock over here, and so we'll watch this play out. These mechanics here, we've seen this, these are donut 8-way, so you want to stand in the safe spot. Okay, and then there's 1 here, so again, stand in the safe spot. And then this explodes. Okay, if you're standing there when it explodes, you're gonna die, and you get blown up. Okay, explodes, but look, because we had 1 opposite color rock here, the dark rock, we have a spot, we're at 4 pings right now, 4 of the light colored debuff. Okay, and so we all run over here to switch our debuff so that we can survive. Okay, and then anti-twilight is raid-wide kind of stuff, and then we go back to the regular stage. Okay, so let's see that again. There is some strategy here on where we put stuff. So with this group, we had, okay, so that was the spear mechanic. This is exactly why we had to like position ourselves, like tanks here, DPS here, healers here, because you can get hit multiple times by this. But anyway, we have a lot to deal with here. This is a good example of just chaos, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good to understand fundamentally like how the mechanic works, so that like when you have to adjust all this stuff, you can potentially, you know, make it work. So what we ended up doing is the stage expands, right? Ideally, because at the end it's gonna be all white, you want to go to the smaller side color and get that debuff. And it'll only tick up a few, but ideally you want the least amount of the big color as possible. And so here, if I go stand on the dark side, okay, well, I'm trying to deal with this mechanic, but if I stand on the dark side and let it tick, then I have started with one darkness, right? And then when the stage eventually expands, okay, the time is a little off, but I'm going in and out of here to try to get it so that I'm in the dark spot once it shifts. Okay, see, I was trying to go in, I wasn't fast enough, but let's see if I do it in this one. I'm trying to go like one at a time so it can make a bit more sense. Okay, forget about the bacon strips for now. Okay, never mind. This is what happens if the bacon strips aren't put in correct places. Ideally, let's find another one. I'm just trying to explain the debuff situation so you can handle your own personal stuff. Okay, I'm standing on the light side, and then we have the nightfall. It's the gun, so we stack up. Okay. Ideally, I want to be on the white side to proc the white color, but so I'm probably gonna die in this one. Right before the entire stage turns into the bigger color, which is this dark color, you want to switch your debuff to the smaller color. Okay, so you want to have the light color. So then when the entire stage switches to this light color, so ideally I would have one light right now, one of the light colored moon, the moonlit one. So then I have more time to stay in. As soon as I switch to the dark color, it resets to 1, and that will give me enough time to do the rest of the mechanics, because it's a very tight window. Okay, if I start this dark colored side, like if I had just stood in this dark colored side the whole time, and I got like 3 stacks of the dark color, you know what I'm saying? If I got 3 stacks of the dark color, then by the time the stage turns all dark, then I'm gonna die midway through. I won't even get to stand in this thing. So I hope that makes sense. This is all, there's a lot of timing involved in this for like personal responsibility here. Okay. I stood near here, but I'm actually gonna die because the rock explodes. So there's a bit going on. Anyway, but the point, let's look at one more to kind of see we're just talking about the debuff situation, okay? Running over, the dark side is going to be what is going to fill the stage, so I'm going to continue staying on the light colored side and just sit there and let the game switch me to the other color. As soon as the entire stage is one color, ideally everyone should have just one, so then they can last the rest of this phase. If you have more than one or two, you're probably gonna die before we get to the end of the mechanic where there's the opposite color rock to stand in. Okay, so GM has 4, so they're gonna die like momentarily. Even if they dodge everything else, they're gonna die. Okay, next up, NM is gonna die because they've got 4. Even if they dodge everything else. See, people are slowly dying off. PV is probably gonna die next because they're slowly dying off, okay? And then by the time this light colored thing shows up, because I managed my debuffs well enough, I have just enough time to run into that and switch my debuff before it hits 5, okay? So that's why it's important at the beginning of this phase, for your own personal responsibility, to make sure, like after these rocks are dropped, at this point, when they explode, you want to make sure that you are on the smaller side of the stage so that you get the opposite color of the big color. Okay, so you want to be starting this phase with just one stack of the main color, the main stage color. That's a lot, right? And so this is why this mechanic is tricky. There's individual responsibility here where you need to manage your color thing, but also in order to have a small space where you can do that, these rocks have to be positioned in a way where you have a spot where you can pick the color. Okay, every party is going to do it differently, but ideally the rock placements are going to allow for you to have access to the smaller color. Okay, so let's take a look at another run. I hope my computer doesn't crash. Here, let's see how we handle it over here. Let's go ahead a little. Okay, so we have the dark color side. This is gonna wipe us because the rocks were too close together, and we didn't have a small safe spot for the other color. Okay, so let's see how we handle it over here. Nightfall. Okay, that's the gun, so we stack up because I heard it, and you can also see the gun here. You can see her holding the gun. Okay, ideally we will have a safe spot with all the colors. Okay, we don't, and so this is a wipe. Let's see this one. Nightfall. Is the gun again, so we stack up for that. Okay. Okay, this is also not a good one. Let's see. I'm just focusing again on the debuff situation, okay? Just to make sure that you can see that, and then I'll talk about why these placements aren't working out and how you can place it. Okay, so in this instance, we do have a small space, and so this is good. And the stage is turning white, the light colored one, and so that means I do want the dark colored one. Okay. I want to be the dark colored one, so by the time the whole stage turns white, then it will switch my debuff to 1. There, we all did it well. We all have 1. And so we go to the safe spots from the donut AoEs. Okay, that's fine. Okay, careful with the other donut AoE. I'm standing a bit too close to this rock. It's gonna explode. Okay, so it explodes. But at this point, if you didn't die, then you would run to the dark puddle to switch your debuff. We all started at 1 once the stage turned. Okay. When the stage turned all white, we all started at 1 together. And then, oops, here. Hide inside the safe spot in the donut, and then if you didn't die already, go to the safe spot, which is the smaller color that's the opposite color, and then it will switch your debuff, and then you'll have survived the thing. Okay, someone didn't make it in time. Some people didn't make it in time. Okay, so that's the debuff situation. And so, how do we set it up so that we can do that? I'll just stick with this one. So, in this particular group, it looks like we had way markers to help this out. Let's see. We had a DPS go that way, and then who's over here? We had the tanks go up here to north. Tanks went north. Healer went south to 2 in the back there. And then DPS would be at A or 1. And so what this looks like is, see how the tank ends up standing like on the light colored area? That's fine. The DPS, because they were all the way over here at A, is going to be the light colored area anyway. But the healer, you can't see it because of my party list, but the healer ended up standing in the dark colored area, which is why their rock is the dark color. Okay? And so what that means is if we pretend, oh, maybe we can even see it in this configuration. No, I'll just stick with this one. If we pretend this is B, okay, in the back over here, so you can see it. Let's say it's B. In this particular run, we made it the healer's responsibility to go onto the smaller color. And so even though the waymarker might be on the light color, the healers knew to scooch over just a little bit so they'd be on the darker color. Okay? And we did that so that it's only the healers who will have the smaller color. And that's fine. That way the tanks and DPS didn't have to worry about it. You can do it however you want. You can assign a different role to do it, but just know that again, it's going to be 1 tank, 1 healer, and 1 DPS, and any DPS. Okay, so by having it so that we only have the healers be responsible for keeping track of the smaller color, then they do that. For the DPS, what they have to keep track of is where they're going to drop their rock. So this group, they happen to, in a color coordinated way, a blue marker for tank, so the tank went up here. I don't know if this necessarily helped anyone, but that's what somebody mentioned. Okay, and then the yellow green marker was supposed to be for healer or something, and so they're like, okay, healers always go south to the 2 marker, and then DPS, they had like red markers, so A and 1 is for DPS. The thing with the DPS though is you have to move the marker, the bacon strip AoE, to the side of the stage that is bigger. okay? All the way in the corner. Why? Because we want to stand on the smaller color because of what I talked about before about switching your debuff, okay? So by going to the opposite side, the side that's bigger, we make a safe spot for the party, and then that person will run over. So we'll see it here. Okay, so we stack up for the gun. Okay. We're kind of spreading out to see who has the thing. We got one DPS running to the side here. Got the tank running that way. The healer ran back there. Everybody else stays around here. I stayed on the light color because I already had 4 stacks of the thing, so I didn't want to die. So I waited to switch to the light color, and then I went to the safe spot. Okay, so this person they used their little Reaper teleport thing. They dropped the rock over here, and then they teleport over here, and now they're in their safe spot. Okay, and the healer is like running over here. Tank is coming over here. So everybody now has a safe spot to stand in to switch their debuff. So everybody turns into the moon shadow one for a moment, and then when the stage expands, we'll all get the moonlit, the light colored one. Okay, so what's that going on here? This placement of tank here, DPS here, healer back here is also equal enough distance away from each other that they won't explode, so we won't take excess damage and things like that. All right, so we want there are a few things we want. We want the rocks to be far enough away so they don't explode. That's one. We want one rock to at least be the color of the opposite, one color that's opposite of the bigger color that's going to be the stage. So if you have to find other ways to think of it, then just find other ways. You can think of it as the smaller color, or you can think of it as not the bigger color, or yeah, whichever, okay? But typically people will assign one role to handle standing in that particular color, either the tank or healer, typically. And then typically the DPS will handle figuring out which side to put the middle one, okay? And it has to go on the bigger side. And so in this configuration, if the stage was darkness instead, it would be like this, and therefore the DPS would have dropped their marker, their comment right here, and then ran over here, and then we'd have our safe spot over here instead. And then the healer would have put the marker on the white side, which is the smaller side, and then the tank can do whatever. So as long as we have one rock that is the color of the smaller side, so that later we have a safe spot, that's what we need. Okay? So equal distance away from each other, just not close to each other. Safe spot so we can refresh our debuffs. One rock that's at least the color of the smaller side so we can be saved later. Those are all very important to handle the mechanic. How you determine that is again dependent on your party. Some people might want the healers to go this and this one, or have the tanks go here, or have the healer, like whatever. That is really up to the party to decide what to do. Okay? So, with all of that in mind, let's see one more time. Let's see a different one. Alright, so starting off, we gotta switch our debuffs. So go on the opposite color. Make sure you don't get hit with the donut AoEs. Figure out which side the stage is getting bigger. Okay, so that means light color is over there. Therefore, the DPS rock is gonna go on this side. Alright, and we need the healer to stand on the dark side of the moon, literally. And so then we get a dark rock later. while this is all happening, you want to switch your debuffs so that you don't die to doom. Okay, this is the gun, so we're stacking up. Okay, see, I'm running to the opposite side so that we have the safe spot over there. I drop the thing and I run immediately back. See how fast it is? So we have a smaller thing right here because this rock over here was dropped a little too close, and this rock over here was also dropped a little too close. The healer's rock. But there's still enough space to bunch up, alright? And then ideally you tick to the other side. Everyone was dark, okay? They were close to dying, but it's okay. As soon as the stage fills up with the one color, it will replenish everyone's debuff. Okay, go to a safe donut area. There's always going to be 2 donuts, okay? And then 1 donut in the corner here. So we want to stand inside this donut. Last time I stood outside, I was too close to the rock, it exploded, I died. Okay, so you want to go inside the donut. Or you can stand over here like that person, sure. But then they might be too close to this one exploding. We'll see. Yeah, okay. So the AoE space that you have to stand in the safe spot inside the donut AoE is whatever it started with. It was like this. So we have a small spot to bunch up and then immediately run into the smaller circle puddle. Alright. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's watch the variations here to prog. This is that first group progging it, okay? People were still trying to kind of figure it out. I think we did a little different in this one too, but we did have the smaller color to stand in. That's safe, so that's good. But the rocks were a bit close, so they exploded. We do have the darker rock here, okay? So we're standing in the inside of the donut AoE to dodge, inside the other donut AoE. Careful not to stand too close to that one, it will explode, okay? And you go into the puddle to refresh your debuff to the other one. And then you'll survive. Okay. Let's move forward. So in this variation, okay, light color is expanding again. Listen for the thing or look at her weapon. Okay, it's the gun, so we stack up. Okay, spread out the bacon strips. Okay, so we had people put in corners. Okay, we happen to have this small corner. This was early prog, so the timing was kind of off. We didn't switch, most of us didn't switch our debuffs fast enough. Okay, oh yeah, and then I die because I stood too close to this one. Here. See this one? How we handled it. This is what you can expect, okay, when you go do this fight for yourself. There's gonna be a lot of this, kind of like sorting this out. Yeah, hot mess, am I right? Yeah. Okay, the dark side is growing now, so this is the opposite color from what we've seen thus far. Nightfall. It's the gun again, so we stack up. It can be kind of difficult if like you're mainly used to... Okay, see how far I am away from everybody else, you know? And then I'm like, okay, if I go here, ideally we'll have enough of a safe spot over there. Sprint if you gotta, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have a dash or anything, you gotta sprint over there. If you are assigned the far corner. Okay, so in this one, it looks like our placement was not very good because the safe spot was always kind of like where the rock was. But if this is the situation, then that means you want to stay just over here out of this AoE and not in here. So this again is really dependent on how your party decides to place the rocks and stuff. Okay, let's see this variation. Yeah, so for this group, we decided to put the rocks, put the middle rock, so this is one rock, the middle one over there, like away from like the corner, and that's why it kind of like made it difficult to handle the donut AoE, as opposed to this other run where we put the rocks on the side seams. You know what I'm saying? So in this run, we always have people standing on the smaller side, and then we have rocks on the seams, and then the big side. But then in this configuration, the strategy in this group was to put a rock on the small side, put a rock on the big side, and then one on the seam, and therefore the safe spot is on the seam over here. And so that made it a little tricky. But you know, eventually we figured it out and it worked out and it was fine. So that's what I'm saying. There's like so many different ways to handle mechanics in this fight, and while there are some standard ways that most people do things, you can clearly figure out your own strategies within your own party. So here, I was like, okay, never mind. I'm not going to get into the donut now, because every time I did that, the thing exploded. So I'm going to stay in a safe spot, wait for it, and then run into it. Okay, so you really have to just adjust to whatever your current party is doing so that you guys can get the clear. See, so our placements are kind of all over the place here. Alright, so I think that's good. I think that's good. We've seen a lot of runs of that, so let's move on. Alright. Let's go, we can go back to the beginning. Or deliberate stuff. Let's review the beginning again. Because it's been a bit, I spent a long time just talking about that, because that's like the major thing of this fight. Okay. So main tank's pointing the boss north, per usual. Yep. Ripper Man is the raid wide. Nightfall, listen for the thing or look at her weapon. Okay, it's the spear. So we pile up by rolls. Oh, okay, this person didn't pile up and so they got hit by themselves. The rest of us didn't get hit with that. Okay, and then the healers. Okay, and then the second Nightfall will be the opposite one. So the gun is, we stack up together. Night Plume is going to be a big raid wide, and then we will go into the next phase. Okay, so again, ideally you want to prioritize the ads with the tether because they're the ones that's doing the suffering, but you can use your AoE stuff for like all of them if they're piled up. And then tank would want to grab the ads on the sides. set of ads. Okay, we're gonna get a knockback. Okay, attack Xenos. Be careful with the raid whites that come out. Dispersivity. Dispersivity. Dispersivity? 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 Okay, then we get our big raid right here. Whoa, look at all those shields. Okay, for this grip, see, we didn't do it by colors or anything, but you can see how like the A is a little bit askew from the B. Okay, so this one, I don't think they picked any particular role to do one color versus the other. It's just stand in the way marker, and ideally that will be one color or the other. It's kind of, it can be kind of messy like that. So it'd be better for people to understand how the mechanic works, but you know, do what you can, okay? Like the markers are there to help out, but yeah, understanding what the mechanic requires will be more beneficial. Anyway, we got the donut AoEs. Okay, figure out whatever your debuff is and stand on the opposite color. So I got the dark one, so I'm gonna stand on the light color for the first set. Careful not to stand in the donut stuff. Watch for which side expands. Okay, the dark side expands, and so we're going to need a rock that is the light color by the end of this sequence. Nightfall is the gun, so we stack up. Alright, people go to their spots. Oh, we got two over here. Well, that worked out okay. Hopefully the rock doesn't explode. Okay. How did it bleed? Oh, I got doomed. That's why. I got doomed and I got a bleed because I didn't switch my debuff fast enough. Oh, but I didn't die to doom. Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can just, like, with good timing, it just works out. So, let's see. I had a little bit of a heal here. It ticked. But, oh, and then I have just 5. I got the 5 thing, but I didn't die to the doom yet. It switches and then there. Wait a minute, how did PV die then? Because we both had this. We both had 4. Okay. We both have doom. We both have 5 ticks of the light color. We both have a bleed. Okay. Where are they? For some reason they died, but I didn't. That's so weird. What happened? Okay, who was it? This person? So they're all the way over here. Okay, let's see. I didn't get hit with anything else. Let's see if they got hit with anything else. Okay, they're right here. They have way more health than me, and they have a shield. Let's see. I have the fairy on me. Okay. These people have fairies too. I think when... Wait, but wouldn't they also have the fairy? Because literally it's their fairy. Hold up. I'm not gonna be over here catching footage of this and not analyze it, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Moonlit 4. Okay. Sacred Soil. I'm not in Sacred Soil anymore. Okay. I got Doom, I got a Bleed, and I got 5 Moonlit. Okay. But then minus Doom and plus Medica 2. But I don't think that was enough to like proc this. But why didn't the healer also get the Medica thing? Oh, this okay. Maybe that's what it is. The snapshot of it. They didn't get the thing, probably because it didn't snapshot to give it to them in time. Because to our human eyes, okay, it looks like everybody gets like a region all at the same time, but when you slow it down, it's generally whoever is like closer. See these people pinging like this? So it looks like I got the Medica and it replaced my Doom, but PV never got the Medica. I think that's what happened in the other video too. And so is it just having a little bit of a heal momentarily that saves people? And so the healer was just spamming heals, and so that was enough. Okay, who? NM? Okay, NM is right here. Because it could be by distance, right? Like momentarily. I am right here. I believe NM is like somewhere over here. And then the other healer PV is right there. Oh, is it gonna crash? Oh man. Okay. This is what happens when you investigate too hard. Let's try to open it again. Which footage was that? This one? Ah, dang. Okay, hang on. I gotta actually like Control Alt Delete Task Manager. Do this. Okay, sure. And then open this again. Yes. Okay, wait, I think this is the one. Where was it? It's down here. Is it this one? Was it this one? No, it's not this one. Hold up. Right, we went in like twice. Is this one? I think it was this one. This one here. Yeah. So I think I was standing closer to the healer doing Medica 2. And so I got the regen momentarily. See, so they just did Medica 2. Here. I'll clip it. I'm moving around. They're doing Medica 2 right now. I'm right here. The healer is like somewhere over here. is somewhere over here. And then the other healer is right here. Okay, NM is right here. So let's back it up a little. They're standing right on the seam of the thing. Okay, NM is like right here, okay? And I'm right here. And then the other healer is right here. And so we're all way closer to this healer. And so as soon as I and this other healer get hit with the doom, the Medica 2 goes out, okay? And so the people closer to the healer AU, the healer themselves, AF here, okay? AU is right here, the healer is right here. And then me in a moment, because I'm like right next to them too. We get the Medica too. See how JY and GM have not gotten the Medica yet? Because it takes a moment to reach. Okay? Okay, so there, now JY gets it, and then GM gets it, and then like that, okay? So I think that's where, in that split moment, I happened to get the regen, but the other healer was too far away, and they didn't get the regen. They were too far away from here, whereas I was just right here. And so when we got the doom, my doom went away, because technically I got a heal from the regen thingy, and then it cleared it. Okay, this is a lot, I know. This actually doesn't matter that much to like prog and stuff for most people, but I find this stuff very interesting, like picking it apart like this. And this is a very good example of how ping works and how like technically there is a radius to all this stuff. It's not like, because like, you know, some of the skills only work for a certain amount of yalms, right? Like, so it might be, you know, this is the radius of Medica 2, and you'd assume if, as long as you're in it, you're just automatically gonna get it. No, it seems like it radiates out in a way, because the people who got it first happen to be the people who are standing closest to the healer. So, you know, if you're interested in programming or like development or server side stuff, then this might be interesting. But yeah, in any case, I was able to survive from this doom situation that most people just immediately die to, okay? Because I happened to get this thing right as I got my doom, and then it cleared it. Like a split moment after I got my doom, I got a Medica 2, and so it removed my doom. Okay, anyway, let's move on. So, I survived. Everybody's darkness switched over, okay? Oh, wait, let's just go back to which I got very, very sidetracked there. So, the stage changes color. We go to the opposite color. Avoid the donut AoE. Figure out which side expands. Okay, so that means we're gonna need the smaller color eventually. So as long as we have one rock that's the opposite color, we're good. Nightfall's coming out. Either stack all together or spread into your roll groups. Okay, it is the gun. So we stack up. And then people go to their locations to spread the rocks. You want to flip your color so that it is the opposite color. The thing is, I stood over here for a moment to try to get the darkness, okay, so that I wouldn't die to this. I was trying not to die to it, but then I was like, oh shoot, like this is probably gonna tick, and that's why. Oh yeah, I was over here, and that's when I realized the AoEs go out, and I'm standing in the dark side, and then I went to the light type. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need to be the light type, but then I realized, oh no, wait a minute, I have too much of this, I'm gonna die. And so that's why I stood in the dark side first, hoping that then afterwards I can go back to the light side. And then I kind of just lucked out that my doom dropped, and then I still had the white color, okay? And that's why I survived. I survived because doom didn't kill me, and also I was able to just keep the 5 stacks. And so technically I was the white color going into this entire dark color phase. So now I have 1 stack of the dark color like everybody else. Okay, donut AoEs. So stand in the clear spot. And then we've got the 1 single AoE, donut AoE here. I'm just staying far away from it so that I don't die from the AoEs. Okay, and then you run to the clear spot, the small opposite color spot. Okay, Purloon, that one is going to be, looks like a raid wide, and then the stage clears of any of the light and dark stuff. Reprimand is a raid wide. Sashiki Asobi. Jeez. Okay, so this one, we're gonna get fans out. Okay. And it's gonna be on one side of the stage first. And then it's gonna spread to the other side. And so that means this side will cleave first. So you wait on the clear side. Okay. This side is starting to get the fans, but you wanna wait until this side explodes. And then you'll run into that side. Wait for the explosion. You can pre-position yourself kind of nearby like I did. Wait for it to explode and then move over. Okay, and also I heard the gun. So we needed to stack for that. I missed it. But yeah. Torment unto death. When she says worm, that is gonna be the tank buster, and so you can do a tank swap here if you wanna. You'll get this little thingy. What is this one? Magic vulnerability / physical vulnerability up. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like you should do a tank swap if you're gonna get hit with this thingy or something like that. Okay, so here we're going to another phase. Here, that was a raid wide. Okay, she has this like dark red thingy, and so depending on whatever debuff she has, or buff she has, will depend on the mechanics she uses. And so here, see when she used this red color one, I always get it mixed up. Is the red color the full moon or the new moon? I never remember what a full moon is versus a new moon. I think the full moon is the light color one, and a new moon is the red one. Something like that. But here, I think we'll see it. I'll figure it out as we see the footage. It's hard for me to remember without like seeing the thing. But see, we have the red one though. So this is the darker version. And so she gets this buff. That's that, okay? And so you'll have to pay attention to that. And then she's gonna switch to the other moon. This is kind of just letting you know that there'll be moon phases. So here, okay, so this is the light color. The light of the full moon infuses Tsukuyomi. So this is the full moon, the light moon, okay? The light colored moon. So when she has this, she's gonna do Bright Blade is going to do a cleave on the left hand side or something. And so you want to go bright to the right side. I think that's how I remembered it. if it's bright blade, that means the left side is gonna get cleaved, you want to go to the right side. So bright is for right, go to the right. And then because it was the full moon is gonna do a circle AoE, a circle cleave. Okay. And then she'll switch it. Darkness of the new moon. Dude, this also looks bright. But I guess there's some like darkness to this rather than just all light. See, this is why it's so hard for me. Like, I can't really tell. I don't know. This I would still consider this a light colored moon, but you know, I guess I don't know astronomy very well. The new moon. Okay, so this one is like the darker color. New moon. So this one, she will do a donut AoE. Okay. But then this time, when she does bright blade, this one, wait, bright is still, hits the left side because you go to the right side. Yeah, okay, wait. So this one will hit the left side again, and you want to stay on the right hand side, right? But because it is the dark colored thing, the full moon, the new moon, the dark colored moon. This is what I'm saying. I get tripped up with the names because I don't actually understand how moon cycles work. The new moon, though. The new moon will do a donut. So you want to stay in the hitbox, but like on the right side. I didn't know what I was doing, so I got hit with it. See? So she cleaved over here on the left side like we saw before, and then you can see the donut AoE right here. So you want to go inside the donut, okay? The rest of this, as you can tell, is all damaged areas. Here we go. So this move is then called Waning Grudge, and the other one is called Waxing Grudge. It's a very moon motif, you know what I'm saying? And so it can be kind of difficult if you don't understand the moon phases and then you're trying to remember all this stuff. Reprimand is a raid wipe. I'll show the clear on the other footage too, just so we can go over it one more time. Okay, Dancing Fan. These fans are going to show up. This is similar to the Shiva fight, where there was those circles that go everywhere. So to handle this, you want to go to the last one, wait for the middle to explode, and then go to the middle. That's typically the strategy to handle the mechanic. But here, alright, we've got the full moon, and it's got the light colored, like green debuff, and so this is going to be the circle AoE. I'm gonna have to find a way to like remember this. I still kind of struggle, as I'm struggling to explain it now, to remember the difference between full moon and new moon. But one is a circle AoE, one is a donut AoE. Okay, see, so the middle goes out. Jelly? What about jelly? Like if it was the red one, like the buff is the red one, then it's jelly filled, and so it's a jelly filled donut, but the middle is where the jelly is supposed to be, and so you go into the middle, and then everything else is like, but everything else gets red, and so that doesn't really make sense. Anyway, so this mechanic, yeah, so the middle one goes out, and then see they're rotating like this. So we do have a really big stack marker here, but you want to stay in the safe spot first, wait for the middle to explode. Ideally everyone goes together, see, for this stack marker, and then you run into the middle together as the stack is continuously exploding. You would do this as a group, okay? Bright blade, so you want to go on her right side because it will cleave the left side. Okay, and then because it was the full moon, the light colored one, it was the circle AoE in the middle, Waxing Grudge. But yeah, I didn't not catch that. Oops. Okay, but actually, looks like there was a situation over here. Oh, okay, there was a tank buster when she said worm. So, okay, you get a physical vulnerability up. Ideally, you don't want both tanks there, but you would do a tank swap. Okay, so that's probably why they died. Because... Okay, well, one of them died to health. But here, okay, we gotta get out of the middle and go into the middle after the middle explodes. Oh, it looks like we've got people with little markers too. So, okay, the marker explodes on the people there. Oh, wait, no, this isn't the... Okay, I didn't catch it because I died. This is the one where half the stage goes first. Okay, so you want to stand in the safe spot, and then this side will explode, and then you run into that side. I was mistaken, because I had just gotten risen back up. And so, these people with the little markers on the side, ideally you will spread those out so people don't get hit when they're like dodging stuff. Let's see, how did they split that up? Okay, so we had someone here, we had someone back here. I don't know where the other person is, but yeah. I didn't get hit with that, even though it like blew up in front of my camera. I didn't actually get hit, so I think just standing kind of a bit away is fine. Like, we seem to be far away enough from each other. Oh wait, no, never mind. I had Transcendence. Never mind. I might have gotten hit with that if I didn't have my Transcendent. Okay, we'll check that in the other footage. Bright blade, so stand on the right hand side so you don't get hit. There is another variation. There's like dark blade or something, and it would hit the right hand side. Okay. So is the red color debuff for the full new, the new moon, the darker moon? I can't with the full and the new. The darker moon, is that the darker color moon is a new moon? Where you don't even see it or something like that? I don't know. That one is the donut. Okay, so probably right hand side but in the hitbox. Or you get hit with the donut AoE. Okay, healer LB here. Raid wide. Another raid wide. Okay, so this variation is the one in the middle, and then it circles around like this. So we'll go to the last spot and wait, and then go inside. Well, yeah, go inside, and then we'll have to deal with this. The full moon, this is the light colored one, and therefore it's going to be a circle AoE in the middle. And so that means we'll have to dodge that. So go to the last spot, wait for this mechanic to resolve first. We have the stack marker that we'll have to stack up for. Ideally, okay, and then she's gonna do some move, either, okay, bright blade again, so right hand side, but outside, because it's gonna be the circle AoE in the middle. Okay, worm, so that's the tank buster. Bit messy, but you know, we got the clear, so yeah, you know. It's not so bad, is it? So that was a full instance plus 2 runs to get the clear here, with a majority of people who were fresh to this fight. And a significant portion of it was figuring out those rocks in the middle. Okay. Let me show the other one, just so we get another perspective, since I do have the footage. So this, yeah, okay, we'll go to the end here. We'll just start from here. This is the tricky part. Okay, so we go to their clear spot, or to switch our debuff, the opposite color. Watch for which side expands. Okay, so now we know how to set our rocks. Remember, in this party, we set the rocks so that the safe spot's on the smaller side. So we did it a little different than the other run. Nightfall, listen for the spear or the gun. Is the gun? We stack up. Okay. I'm gonna put my rock on the side because for this one we determined tanks go here. DPS is either A or B, like so west or east, depending on whichever side is bigger of the color. And then healer is always south. That's what this group decided to do. Okay, and then I gotta sprint back up there into this little spot. Okay. Oh, she actually does have the light colored debuff here too. Okay, but anyway, we've got donuts here to stand in. Okay, and then another donut to hide in. Try not to stand too close to a stone or else you'll die. We've got a little spot. And then go switch your debuff so you don't die. Oh man, we ran this like right before maintenance. Wait, the message that maintenance will now be performed in all worlds? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So, we were running very, very close. Oh, wait, no, wait. Will be performed, not right now. So we had like an hour. Never mind. But yeah, it was at the end of the night. Anyway, I got distracted. Did anything significant happen? Wait, let's go back a little bit. So we switch our debuff. We get hit with a raid wide. Okay, that's all that happened. We're raising people and stuff. Reprimand is the raid wide. Sashiki Asobi. So this is the fans, so it's this side first. So you wait on this side, wait for this to explode, and then go into the safe spot. Okay, Nightfall, listen for the gun or the spear. Okay, it's the gun, so we stack up. Worm, okay, tank buster. Okay, that's an actual cleave, okay. Okay, this time they got magic vulnerability up. So, switch it up. Okay, so yeah, they did a tank swap. Supreme Silimancy. So the stage is gonna change again. We got these donut AoEs coming up. Switch your debuff to the opposite color. So I'm standing, if you need the color that has the donut AoEs, you have to stand inside the donut AoEs, alright? Or else you'll get hit with damage from the actual AoE. Okay, light colored side is expanding. Remember to keep track of your debuffs. Listen for the Nightfall thing. See, it's the opposite of what we had before. And so we got the tank stacked, healer stacked, and DPS stacked here. For the spear, to split it up. Okay, it's a bit unclean, but because we had the healers over here, and they ended up running this way anyway, they all kind of like stacked towards together. And so, yeah. I guess having the DPS stack in the back here was kind of better. I was off to the side just because I was a bit more rigid, you know? But then they all came over here and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just come over here. But yeah, standing in the back here was better, so then we all actually get hit with that. The tanks to get hit, and the DPS did get hit. We all ended up getting hit together, so it was fine. I dropped my marker. I happened to have 4 stacks of the dark color, but I was gonna run into light color, so I was okay. I drop my thing off, wait for it to see, wait to see it, and then I sprint back up to the safe spot. I switch my color. Okay, switch my color. And then the stage will expand all to one color. Stand in the donut AoE to keep yourself safe for the first set. Okay, stand in the next donut AoE away from the stones. Wait for the stones to break and then run into the opposite color so that you can refresh yourself so you don't die. Okay, now we've got a big raid wide. Looks like the tanks get bleeds there for some reason. Tank stuff. Okay, this is the dark color moon. Okay, so this is some fancy thing. Bringing to bear the full might of the dark and bright blades. Oh, okay, so this is bright blade and the dark blade. But it's, I would assume if they're gonna have it look like this, then that means the bright color will cleave on this side, but that's actually not true. The bright one cleaves on this side, the left side of her, and then the dark one cleaves on the right side of her. But anyways, that's just me. Okay, full moon. So this is the light color one, the light color debuff, the green one. So that means it's gonna be a circle AoE in the middle. Like a patch of grass, sod, a pile of sod in the middle of a thing. It's one, like a circle carpet, okay? I don't know, I'm just throwing out visualizations to help remember. Ooh, Dark Blade. Okay, so Dark Blade is gonna cleave the right hand side, so we wanna be on the left hand side and outside of the hitbox. Outside. Outside, ghost, you're gonna get hit. Yeah, so I got hit with that. Okay, a new moon. Dude, it looks the same, but apparently this is the darker one. Okay, but you can look at the debuff, it's darker. So this is the donut, the jelly donut AoE. Oh, that's the Reaper's thing. Okay, so, oh, Dark Blade again, so it's the right side. Cleave, okay? And then we're gonna go inside the hitbox. So stand on the left side, inside the hitbox. Oh, I knew what I was doing this time. Nice. Oh, wait, this is... Oh, wait, no, that is the Reaper stuff. God, I thought I was looking at the little mouse thing that was on there, but anyway. Oh, new moon, here we go. Unleashing the power of the new moon. That's not very informative, but like I said, it just, depending on what moon it is, it will do certain mechanics. Wait, does it look like it's fanning out? It's like this, and then it's like fanning out. Ah, is that supposed to indicate it's a circle AoE? Or, I mean, a donut AoE in there? Wait, let me see. What is this? Dude, it looks the same! That doesn't look like a circle AoE. Never mind. Okay, let's keep going. Reprimand is a raid vibe. Okay, full moon. So this is the light colored one. So it'll be a donut. Circle AoE. The patch of grass. Okay, and then we got the fans going out around the sides in a circular form. So go to the last one, pile up together for the stack, and then run together once the middle explodes. Into the center we go. And then we have to get out of the hitbox because it's gonna be the moon thingy, the patch of grass one. I already forgot if it's full or new, but it's gonna be the circle AoE, the green for circle AoE, and Bright Blade is gonna hit the left side, and so you want to stand on the right hand side. This doesn't look like anything to me. Yeah, so it's gonna cleave the left side, so we want to stand ideally out here somewhere. Go. Worm. Tank Buster. Okay, that did a physical vulnerability up. Ooh, they took a lot of damage. So we'll do a tank swap there. Darkness of the new moon. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, and her little weapon is getting dark. And there's the moon there. Oh, you know what? Her outfit is darker. Is that what's up? Dude. Attention to detail. Her outfit is like light colored right now. And the moon behind her. Oh, my allergies. Oh no, I'm losing my voice. My cat was here. Oh, my voice is changing. I'm going through puberty. No, it's fine now. Okay, wait. Hold up. Her dress is a light color, and the moon behind her is a light colored, and her hair is a light color. Okay, now let's see when it switches. Okay, Tank Buster. You know how many times I've run this fight, synced and unsynced? Like, and there's still so many details to notice. See, okay, so darkness. Her dress is purple and she's got like orange stuff here. The moon behind her is dark. Okay. And then like her hair is also dark. Wow. Okay, so there's a few different tells you can look at if you can't understand the difference between full and new, which I can't. And so you can look at her dress color, her hair color, the actual moon behind her, these little, I don't know, fashion, what are these called? Ribbons. Or you can look at the debuff. Okay? Wow, there's a lot of tells here. Oh, you can look at her sword. Oh, she's got like 2 sticks. Right blade is the left side, so we can stand on the right side. And it says, wow, hang on, this, okay. Okay, here she also has 2 sticks, but they're light colored sticks. The more you know, you know? Yeah, it was only because I caught the transition. Like around here when the darkness of the new moon thing happened. Because I noticed this, the darkness spreading and the darkness here. Wow, I feel like they could have, like, you know, changed it up so you could see that a bit better instead of just this like huge moon here. But okay, there's like a fan here and there is a lot of darkness kind of spreading on the ground and stuff. Wait, let's see the transition to the new one. Or the bright colored one. Okay, there's some light colored stuff here. The light of the full moon, okay. No, I don't really see a big transition to that. Okay, so she's wearing the dark outfit right now. Okay, so it's kind of shimmer. It's kind of shimmery, light colored shimmery. Let's see if I can catch it after this one. Dang. Okay, let's see. Wait, now. One more time. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Maybe it's in the other one. Let's see this one. Maybe I have a better view of this one. The light of the phone. Okay, this one. Okay, so this is a transition phase. And it kind of just looks like this is coming up. You know, the other one, when there's the red stuff here, it doesn't look like there's any super significant thing. There's just like this wispy kind of like blue glowy thingy here, I guess. Alright. Anyway, wow. I'm glad I caught that. That's a nice little detail that I really hadn't considered before. Where? Wait, so this is a light color. The dark, okay, the dark color looks like this. This is like a dark blue kind of thing. Oh yeah, and then like these little skirt hanging ribbon things. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's actually the same color. It's like this orange color, but this like stuff like spiky flails out kind of like wrapping paper strips when you curl them, like on a Christmas tree, like a paper Christmas tree. Is that offensive? Anyway, yeah, we did it. Cool. So anyway, that was neat. I hope that was very educational, because yeah, those rocks, the rock placement, I think if you're gonna go for this and you have a hard time understanding mechanics and strategies and things like, or like picking things up like on the fly, you really gotta understand the fundamentals of the mechanic itself, like what the rocks do exactly, before like trying to understand what the strategy is. Or if that's too confusing, then it's fine. Just go by people saying, okay, DPS will always go here or here, or healers will always go on the lighter color side, or the darker color side, or the smaller side, or the larger side. Like, there's so many variations on how to handle these things that you do have to just discuss it with your party. Okay, it's not something you can YOLO swag that much. As you saw, like, we had so many runs where people were just all over the place, and then there was no safe spot to stand, and then we would die from that. Okay, so communication is very key for this fight. Good luck. Bye.